Welcome back to Whitt Acres, everybody. I'm Cody. Here's Echo, and we're gardening at home. Let's grow. So we're here in the greenhouse today, just doing an update. It's March 16th, I think, 15th or 16th. I don't know, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. But I just wanted to do an update and show what's going on in the greenhouse right now and what we're planning to do. So let's look at what we got. So right now the greenhouse is starting to get filled up. You got trays on trays here, and I got probably just under 1,000 seed starts going on in the greenhouse right now, so we're not going to be able to go through all of them, but just want to show a little bit, see which ones are popping up right now and see which ones we're waiting on. On this first tray here we got vinca, which there is a couple sprouts coming up, just starting to come up on the vinca. Right beside that's the gazania, and I got bunny tails and petunias, which they're just starting to sprout too. They're probably the slowest of all of them. All those are just short 10 to 12 inch flowers that I'm putting on the main flower red bank. Next tray is all herbs. I got all the different herbs here, and these are just the ones for my garden. They're not for any plant sale or anything. That's the Tokyo long bunching onion there on the end. That's also for my garden. We get plenty of onions here this season. The next tray is some different types of tomatoes, ground cherries, and this is just stuff that's going into the food forest, and the hollyhocks here on the end, they'll be going in the perennial bed. They're all starting to sprout up. I'm still waiting on pineapple, tomatillo, and a couple of the ground cherries. Maybe got one of the valerian in the back there. And then the next tray is salvia, vinca, and vista. And then majority of it's calendula. I just sowed that one, so that's gonna take a minute. So these the other day, I got more white and red onions to come. I got this new flower from a friend called Craspedia. It's like a little Dr. Seuss flower. It's something different to try out. I got Shasta daisies going on in that bowl there. This De Niro tree cabbage I got from Baker Creek Seeds. It's not a heading cabbage, it's a large tree leaf cabbage, so I'm going to try that one out. I got poblano peppers and green globe artichokes in the back there. I just started eating artichokes this year, so I decided to sow a couple and see how good they are fresh. This next tray looks like it's all tomatoes. I sowed half of them probably 4 days earlier than the other half, so you can see they're coming up already. Those are all from my garden. I'm not selling any of those. Behind it's the first round of onions I started. They're doing well, and keeping all those as well. Down below those is what I have of the brassicas left. I haven't up potted these brassicas yet. I have a lot of them up potted right here. Got them in 3x3 square pots, and they're doing well. Look at that pak choi in the back. That thing's cruising, it's ready to go. And then I got some more brassicas up potted in this tote, and I also have my jelly melon and potato cucumber in here, which I definitely sowed those too early. Yep. Definitely sowed them too early. You can see they're already 6-8 inches vining out. This is going to be a jungle by the time they're actually ready to be planted outside, but oh well, that's how you learn. Tray to the side is some backup brassicas I sowed, a 6-pack of each type of brassica I have: broccolis, cabbages, and cauliflower. And then there's some more Tokyo long bunching onions that I sowed earlier than the last bunch you saw. Up top, this is my basil and sage tray. All these are for the plant sale. They're almost ready to be up potted. I just did a little bit of dibbing in there and separated a few of the clumps out to let them spread out and grow. But it looks like I'll have a good full tray for the plant sale. Now this beautiful tray here is 72 tomatoes, which I just love seeing a full tray of tomatoes for some reason, but I think they look nice. You got beefsteak there on the end, and then I got 2 dozen of the early girls. There's some Amania right there, and some yellow pear and some Baxter bush cherry. So those are all for the plant sale, and they're looking good. Over to the side is my basil tray for the garden. Dark opal basil, cinnamon basil, spice globe, blue spice, lettuce leaf. That lettuce leaf basil is supposed to have a really large leaf, good for wraps and other things. So I would like to try that one out. Next I have some jalapeno peppers, banana peppers, and some bell peppers. And then over in the corner I have an Easter pepper, which puts out little tiny peppers that have multiple colors, which I had last year, and it was nice to just have a pot of that up on the patio. This tray here is my herb tray. I believe this is the first tray of herbs I sowed. So I started plugging these out whenever I'd get 2 in a cell. I'd pull one of them out and plug it into an empty cell. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rosemary, 10 parsley, and then the mint. The mint I didn't separate because I heard you're supposed to just let them go ahead and root out their cell, and then you can just rip the cell right in half and plant both halves, because mint grows pretty vigorously from the roots and spreads. So I'm not gonna dib out and separate those ones until they have a chance to really take hold and get a lot of roots in the cell. The other one's oregano. I think I'm gonna try the same thing with that because I multi-sowed a good bit of them. I did split up 1 or 2 of them, just to the ones that look like I could easily. And then on the very back there is 6 of the chives. Chives actually have not been doing real well this year. So I ended up sowing more than I need, just to try and get as much as I want. But I don't know, we'll see about the chives. So it's really starting to look nice in here, nice and green. Got some leaves blowing in the fan wind. It's always good to see in here. Down on this shelf I have some more chives, some lettuce leaf basil that hasn't come up, and then all these are snapdragons. I just separated out all these snapdragons with a dibber. And then I have 2 penstemon coming up there on the end. I tried to grow those last year and didn't actually get any into the ground. This is my tray of peppers for the plant sale. I got almost a dozen of each. And then I got some more parsley in here. And then right here is my gherkins, little Mexican sour gherkins. I love these things. They're probably the best fresh eating vegetable to have out in the garden, in my opinion. So I got 8 of those. They're coming along pretty well. Down here I started up potting. I went and bought a pack of cups from Dollar General. I got it right here. 56 cups, 9 ounces for $2, I believe. So I started up potting with those, which is really helping keep things organized. I like using the same pots. But I got, looks like 12 calendula. Looks like one might be struggling there. Just did those yesterday, so we'll see how they bounce back. Here's some of the snapdragons I dibbed out. I got a dozen of those. It's just a mix. And I got a dozen of the thyme up potted today. I'd like to get the rest of this tray of brassicas up potted, and I'd like to get all of this tray of herbs up potted so they can start growing, getting bigger for the bigger for the plant sale coming up in a month or so. But that's about all I have in the greenhouse growing at this time. I just wanted to get a video, show some record of what's going on in the greenhouse this time of year. And Pup's out here just chilling in the nice cool weather. Seems to be we're actually getting a spring. It's March and April hopefully as well. But yeah, we're getting about 40 to 50 degrees during the day, even the 60s tomorrow. And then it's going down to 20s, sometimes 30s at night, which is just perfect. We got the garlic in, you can go see that video. Hopefully that's going to grow this March. I've never tried spring garlic here before, but hopefully it's going to work. I also put in some chives, or not chives, shallots. I planted some shallots in my raised bed down in the garden. You'll have to see that. Hopefully they start growing. I'll show you those on one of the garden tours. Which reminds me, I will be doing garden tours this year. Maybe every week. I'll try and do every week, but we'll see how busy I get. I don't know. But I will be doing garden tours and property tours of all the flowers and stuff, so I have records of the property growing through different times of year. It's always nice to see that, and I'll be able to go back in the winter and see what I want to change for the year coming up and what actually worked out well. So if you want to see those garden tours and some more greenhouse tours this spring as we get more and more growing for the homestead, then go ahead and subscribe down below, hit that like button, and I'll see you on the next cool weather.